Olá, boa tarde a todos e bem-vindos a São Paulo pelo Grande Prémio do Brasil. Tonight I am with Chris. Sorry, no, not Chris. It's my other step teammate. I was with Chris like 5 minutes ago, and I was like, okay, it's not Chris. No. So I am with Marco. How are you, mate?
I'm even better now. Oh, that's brilliant. Sorry, mate. I'm sorry. Oh, that's fantastic. No, I'm good, my friend. How are you?
Yeah, fine, fun. Looking forward to this race. One of the best tracks on the calendar, I'd say.
Yeah.
Definitely made for racing, a bit like an old school track, kind of a karting track. And yeah, we always see some really good side to side action. We've got Maka then, the first driver to set a lap tonight. Our current championship leader, I think, as well. So we will see what he can set as a lap time. So going up to turn one into the centre S's, yeah, you want to roll and have a lot of trail braking into the turn one. You don't want to lock the front tyres. Using plenty of energy, opening the DRS, going into turn four. It's very, very bumpy on the exit on that curb, so he manages to keep it nice and steady. Goes up the hill, uses plenty of battery as well. So this is the whole technical section here, sector 2. You want to take plenty of curb here. It's very flat, so there isn't really any risk of spinning around unless you're applying a bit too much acceleration. Goes a bit wide there, but it's only early in the session, so there's plenty of time to improve afterwards.
Yeah, I'm expecting a session that, track improvement as people just feel the grip, feel everything, just get into it. I think it's going to be a good session. I think this is going to be, last out on track, perfect conditions. I think you're in the best position.
That too, yeah.
Apparently there's going to be a potential bit of rain in the race, according to Mr. Hills, our resident weatherman. He's saying quite a lot of rain, actually. So, this is going to be exciting now,
okay.
isn't it? Of who then, who's running that higher setup, who's running the higher downforce, because, you and I and a few of us in practice have gone away from, a little bit away from the older setups, which was generally a lot higher downforce, wasn't it, around here, and but balancing it with that. So it's going to be interesting to see who abandons potentially that strategy, and if the rain's going to come, of course.
Yep, and I think it's not too bad a compromise around this track in qualifying to go, yep, that's a good banker as well. 8.7 for KG. We've got Flaherty up into P5 and Connor just set the lap. Connor who's back, by the way. You were talking about wet setups and the wing levels and everything. Well, around qualifying on this track, most of the time is spent in the middle sector, so having the higher wings could be the way to go in qualifying.
Yeah, I agree. I don't disagree, because anyway, the battery usage, you leave it all out there for that qualifying lap, so you're generally not as hampered in qualifying. Say you've got the DRS active, you're using your wings down the start finish straight from John Stow, sorry.
Very good.
Correct me after last night. And then the run from 3 to 4. So yeah, that's where you would usually lose that time, but with using the DRS and the extra wing, the battery, like I say, you're not going to be as compromised. So I think, as Colin says actually in the chat, that it could be spicy, and I think it really could be.
Oh, it always is this race, unless you've got one person completely head and shoulders above everybody else. Ben, it really is a huge battle for the win, this one, because DRS helps with that, but it's, one lap someone leads, next lap someone else. What the hell? We've got bit up into P5.
Wow.
Stop the count.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think he'll be over the moon with that one. He was a bit of a loss over the weekend, but yeah, seemed to make those little changes, and hopefully, fingers crossed for him. And if it is wet, he does excel in the wet conditions. So does Mr. Hills, and fingers crossed for him.
So what about Smith in the Haas, coming up to the final sector here, going up the hill, He's got about 50% energy left, so just enough to make it to the line. Actually, he's lacking a little bit towards the end, so you might want to manage it a bit differently next time. We've got Vans in the first sector. Let's go on board with him. He goes wide. Does it invalidate? It doesn't. He lost enough time for it not to cause any issues. He's got an Alpine ahead of him, so I don't know if that Alpine's on a lap or not, but
I'm not actually sure.
yeah, he's not flashing, so he could be on a lap.
So I'm just keeping my eye on him. No, I think he is on a lap. The Alpine of Nels, so yeah, it's very close to the championship, and I think there's going to be. Oh, Alex has left. I think Andrew's also having a few technical issues with his wheel. Hopefully, he can get that working soon.
Yeah.
That's just going to be unlucky for Andrew. There's nothing he can do about it. I know he's trying different things, but yeah, I think I mean, it's quite close there. There's 0.8 of a second separating. Wow, Nels. Well, okay, there's now a second separating the top 10, and round here you can gain that just by. If you have a great couple of first corners, the centre S's, you can really gain some time. Even a strong middle sector, you get the traction, you get the braking just right. It can really catapult you up the order.
Oh, just a bit wide there on the entry to turns 8, I think it is. 7, I can't remember. 5, 6, 7, 8. So yeah, and then validation for Martin, and he might have just enough track to save the energy to go again. We've got CBG Sambal in the first sector, purple, but yeah, it's in comparison to the 5 guys around him.
Yeah, but early days for him. He's got, I think it's a Haas ahead.
Yep.
Look at Martin. I think he's just. Is he going to go again? I'm not sure. Yes, he is actually going again.
Yeah.
So I'll keep my eye on the boss.
Oh, a lot of traffic there for CBG Sunbelt. Come on, guys. Get out of the way, but somewhere else.
Yeah, it's a difficult one in qualifying, isn't it? Especially that middle sector, because it's tight anyway. There's a lot of left, right, and you finish the position in your car. There's not a lot of time and space to get out the way, so it's going to be a tough one for people here. And yeah, like you say, got to really be focused, really be looking at the map, looking at the surroundings, and seeing who's coming, who is potentially catching you, who then could potentially be on a lap. And Rassam's completely with the hat.
AG's found 0.6 of a second, half a second, sorry. So that's a provisional pole for him. What about Maka? Can he make an answer in the final sector? He had a bit of a messy final sector, final part of the second sector. He's found 3.5 tenths, so this could be enough to put him back into contention for the top 2.
Yeah, depends on his battery, and a lot of people do save it through that middle sector. Of course, it's not going to be advantageous, and then dumping it now on the run towards the line, taking the shortest run possible, just runs out of it.
It's pretty good though. Yeah.
It was. Yeah. So I'm trying to look at who else is on a lap. I'm going to look at the elder of the Hornet boys, who's, we've mentioned this actually last week, didn't we, you and I, about Chris, that he sometimes has a bit of difficulties in the opening part of races, but then just does what he needs to do, and he grinds the result out, and it's usually, a pretty solid result, in fairness, and it's just a shame that he seems to get caught up in, not necessarily his
yeah, he's been really unlucky.
His fault.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like I say, he's racing really well. He's got a lot of pace, and yeah, it's good to see it. It's fantastic to see from Chris. Hopefully, this is going to be another strong showing for him. It's an improvement
P6.
into 6. So
yeah,
lap times are tumbling.
There's just about half the session left as well, so still plenty of time to find some more performance on the track. The track will evolve as the session goes on. 7 minutes to go is maybe a tenth or 2 of improvement that can be found just with the track improving. I think he's aborted this lap. What about Moritz? He's coming up to the line, going to set his final, latest time. That's a really good improvement. Wow. Okay, jumped up into P1 from, what was it, P4? I think he was. He'll be happy with that. Nelson in the first sector finds a 10th and a half, so well on track to be challenging for the top 2 again if he finds a 10th and a half in each next sectors. So he stays really on the inside there, extends as much as possible.
Sort of 6, they're taking quite a bit of inside curve through the first part of there, which is interesting. Usually it's not a curve that you would associate with attacking. Usually you would sort of keep out a little bit wider. You usually almost look at the white line as the apex of the corner. But yeah, a few drivers using the inside curve up the hill thought it might unsettle it, but no, still working well for him.
Yeah, 3.5 tenths.
Yeah, he's going to get a nice slipstream as well up the hill.
He is.
The Mercedes ahead, who's starting a lot. That might be Martin, so this could be a good one for Nels.
That's a massive toe he's getting. I thought there was going to be a provisional pole for him. He lost a bit of time.
Yeah.
Alex has gone purple as well in the middle sector, so faster than the guys around him. Connor and CBG Sambal could be under pressure here from him. Stays to the inside. It's a 6-tenth improvement, 6.5 tenths up into P5 with an 8.6. That's a very decent improvement. Who do we have? Russ, single track. Martin's invalidated again. Well,
yes,
there's still 5 minutes to go, but it's getting a bit late to set a time, you know. So P19 for now.
Yeah, a lot of pressure, doesn't it? If you make those mistakes early on, you only get one go at it, and then it just puts you on that back foot, doesn't it? You're just desperate to then make a big move, and really attack braking zones, attack the throttle, and yeah, that can really hamper you if like I say, if you're really under pressure, as Martin is at this point.
So yeah, Martin going to the pits. Yeah.
He's retired but left, so I wonder if he's just trying to full reset. Andrew on his with his wheel, fingers crossed he can come in for the race. But this is a track that there are overtaking opportunities, especially if the setup's right. Strategy. Well, we've been discussing over the last few days about the strategy in the dry. If it's going to rain, it's just going to completely throw things sideways, isn't it? It's completely unsure.
Yeah, because someone can out of the blue come up with the strategy of not pitting. Pity.
I was just on board with him as well.
And that can, or maybe a 2-stop even. It's it can go both ways. I've got no idea what intermediate tire wear is like around here. On some tracks it's absolutely terrible, others it's fine. So we do have bit on a lap.
Made a mistake though, 10, so we'll build on this lap.
Yeah, he might be going back to the pits.
Yeah, time for him to get in and get back out if he's quick enough, so don't have time expecting a big flurry of people exiting the pit lane soon.
Very steady from Laupede, cuts the corner just enough to straighten the car up. How much time does he find in the first sector? It's half a tenth of a second.
Interesting, it's really cloudy as well.
It has.
It might cool off a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah, Monster's trying to restart his PC and hopefully gets back in. We do have the 5-minute fill. He'll struggle, obviously. Hopefully he'll have his setup loaded, so it should reload that setup again.
Yep.
Fingers crossed for him. But plenty of tyres left. See what the weather does, and there's still opportunity from the back.
So very steady sector as well. 2.5 tenths now. So where would that put Laupi? It would probably put him P9 currently. So we'll see how much time he can find in the final sector. It's only one corner, this final sector, so it's not easy to improve. And he has lost a bit of time there as well. So it's only P12 out of 14 people who've set a lap time. So not going to plan for Laupi tonight.
No, not so far. But to be honest, I think my pace is around the mid to low 1.9s. I must be honest. So yeah, it's going to be a difficult one, I think, for all the drivers. Like I said, I think this is going to be about the race, isn't it? This is about the compromise as well. I think that people have got Chris is in the 1.9s on the hard tyres, so he's just showing off at this point in time. So let's have a look. Single track, his final attempt. Obviously under pressure, not set a lap time yet. A couple of cars ahead. They should move out the way through turn 4, 5. Let's have a look at him. Goes a little bit wide again, I think. Through 4. Kick moves out the way. Up the hill. The car looks good. The car looks like it's got the grip. Can put it together.
So looking a bit understeery though.
A little bit. That could be part setup, partly with the condition. Yeah, it does look quite understeery right there. Yeah, through turn 10. Yeah, had to really get some steering lock on that car to get the car turned, and had to wait for it to grip. Same there through and south. That will cost him quite a bit of time. Final push to the line. What's it going to be? Well, it's 8, so worked quite well. I think it'd be
Nelson's
more relief than
improved,
anything.
but not enough to challenge Moritz. KG is going to the pits. Maka is coming up to the final sector.
Yeah, purple middle as well.
And Moritz has bailed, so he won't be improving. But what does Maka do then? He does find a tenth and a quarter up into P4. Flatty, what about Alex? No, he's not on lap. Thomas Hornet, he's a bit down on his own time. And I think Thomas Hornet will be the last one to set a lap time. Coming up to the line. It doesn't improve.
No, unfortunate.
And it looks like this is going to be the end of qualifying. I can't see anybody on a lap. And Moritz has failed. So that's it. We've got Moritz on pole with Nels and KG. Why is Why is Nels tier 3?
Yeah, he's a very quick boy. Very, very quick man.
I think he's leading tier 3, but without winning a single race. So he's being very smart.
Yeah.
So trying to stay in there, but without winning.
Yeah, yes. Andrew, I've just sent you an invite, mate. Hopefully your wheel does get detected and you can race. Very frustrating when it's just nothing you can do about it.
Mm-hmm.
But interesting end to qualifying that not many drivers seem to improve. They were very close, but not a lot of improvement through the field really. I don't know if that's because it has clouded over.
Yeah.
They couldn't get the heat at the tyres. The grip just wasn't there.
Yeah, that's got to be it. Track temperatures being having dropped, less performance in the tyres. So despite the track evolution, you just don't extract as much out of your car. So, as we were saying, we've got that top 3 of Moritz, Nels and KG. Maka in P4 with Alex, Flatty, Connor who's back in P7. Thomas Hornet single track with only 1 lap, setting a time for P9. Smith P10, Chris, CBG Sambal, Bit, Laupi, Vance, Bobo, Rassam, Notorious, Arma, and Andrew Mond to complete the grid tonight. And the big boys are still at the front, so nothing too surprising. I'm a bit disappointed for Bit. I was starting to believe, I was starting to believe that today was the day we were going to have an incredible qualifying session from him. Nah, he just said no, forget about it. I'm all about the race. But
Dry to start though.
Yeah.
So I think if it is going to rain, when is it going to?
Exactly. I wouldn't be surprised.
What tyres are people going to choose?
Yeah. If we've got everybody on soft tyres, we can guarantee that it's going to rain within the first 2 laps. Because you don't want to run those soft tyres for any longer than that.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
So, we'll soon find out. Actually, let's have a sneak peek. We've got hards mostly. and a few on medium tyres. So this will evolve.
As people are setting up their
Yeah.
strategies and come back from taking a bit of a breather. And of course, folks, do hit the like button. Everyone watching, 10 of you, please do get involved, as well as always, hit the thumbs up. Only a few people have done so far, and one of them was me, so come on, folks.
Yep, and I'm going to add one.
This is going to be an interesting one. I think when people do start with their strategies and their tyre choices, I think what's going to be an interesting factor, because of this, as I mentioned this a few times on commentary, is when we have this 5-minute interval, that rain, if it's at the end of the race, think, okay, it's going to be at the end of a medium stint, it's going to be the end of a hard stint, or it's going to miss us. As this time, as they're sitting on the grid, elapses and gets further down, it becomes a bigger threat. You know, it could be right at the end, in the middle of the race, let's say, of a stint again, and then you think, well, okay, can I extend my stint by a lap or two to get to this change in conditions? And then it suddenly ends up it's in the middle of your stint, and it completely throws you.
Yeah, timing is important when you've got changing conditions. We saw that in 2011 with Jenson Button at the Canadian Grand Prix, and in quite a few Hungarian Grand Prix as well, if I can remember correctly. Yeah. Someone who didn't get it correctly was Lewis on a few occasions.
Yeah.
China 2007, Hungary 2021. But it's going to be a very, very precise moment you have to pick, because one lap difference, you could possibly lose 5 or 6 seconds just by getting it wrong by one lap.
I think we saw that. We saw that last week, I think, in Japan, didn't we? With the weather was a hit and miss. People were looking at the dry tyres. Some people then went, which didn't work, and then some people looking at the inters. Some were looking at the wets, and that difference really paid off. We were completely perplexed. Well, I was. You weren't so much, but by the choices that people were making, and this is going to be one again, I think, this evening, that it depends on their strategies. Martin says he went a different way on his setup, but he couldn't get a decent. The balance was different, and the error in sector 3, unfortunate. So,
that's the problem. Sorry, I thought you'd finished.
I was just going to say as well, but then, of course, we know that the track conditions, the lighter fuel, the car behaves completely differently to what it will do when you're practicing on the heavy fuel in a different session, and that can make a huge difference to everything.
Yeah, in that case, you don't have much to play with. You've only got your front wing to change the wing level. To try and change your oversteer, understeer balance, your differential, your brake bias, but all of that isn't the rest of the setup, so it's still hard for Martin to find a balance. What if a lot of rain is expected, like heavy rain and thunderstorm? Do you go straight for wets, or do you go through the inters and then wets? Because sometimes it's very quick.
It is, yeah, it is very quick. I think you can usually tell within 3, 4, 5 corners of what the rain's going to do and how heavy it's going to be, if you do need to jump straight for those wet tyres, and then do you sort of brave it out for a lap or two when you pit for it to get wetter. As you say, it's quite a difficult choice, but I think generally because of course there's only finite coding that you can do. Such as, for example, one of the track limits here. If you have a half spin at the top of turn 6 and 7, then you can get a 10-second penalty, but you're sideways / backwards. But this because there's only finite coding. So I think it's a difficult one. I think, but you sort of get the feeling. You've looked at the radars quite a bit. If it's going to be heavy, if it's going to be a lighter shower first, you do have a bit of an inkling, and if you can brave it and then go straight and save yourself a pit stop, of course.
So we do have a lot of weaving going on, which is a bit of an indication.
Tyres.
Yeah. I'm surprised to see the amount of drivers on hards. We've got, what is it?
Yeah. Fair enough, because he'll just get rid of the set, he has to pit that one.
Yeah, so it's actually only Alex as a tier driver on the hards. The others are either on mediums or softs, and it's a pretty even split, which makes me think, okay, yeah, the rain is coming very quick.
Yeah, I've got a message off somebody who's in the lobby, and it said it is raining. I'm on board with a couple of drivers. I can't see it just yet, so maybe
yet,
it's
no.
coming very, very quickly. So that's interesting.
Bit of context for the viewers with the championship. We've got Maka, the championship leader, starting in P4. The second driver in the standings is Colin, and he's not on track. He's in the comment section. So we've got one of the big hitters missing. We've also got Airways missing in the McLaren, being replaced by Chris. He's P5 in the standings, and yeah, so the closest challenger to Maka is KG on track tonight, and he's 6 points behind. So this could be a big night for KG. Get this race right, and you're not just in the title fight; you're potentially leading it.
Yeah, missed his grid slot a little bit wide into it, but I've got some people saying look at track. Well, I could see a little bit of sun on that, and a couple of shadows. So I think if it's going to change, it's going to change very quickly within the first few laps. But here we go, the best start.
So 5 red lights are now out, and it's a pretty poor start from Nels, which promotes Maka into P2, and Moritz has had a pretty good restart. KG's on the inside and is trying to go around the outside in turn 3.
Soft tyres worked for Maka at the start. Really worked very well indeed.
Yeah.
Bit had a really poor start. Don't know if he got bogged down or too much wheel spin, down to 16th to start with. So yeah, lost 3 places there. Loppy monster start. Who's that? That's round.
It's Haas, it is Smith, and we've got Vance as well. Yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's a virtual. No, everything's fine. Green flag. Yeah. Racing can resume.
Damage for Vans. End plate missing. Probably let Smith go through that, which is good sportsmanship. Yeah, not sure what happened into turn 4, but I mean that's a notorious corner for myself in the past, and Mr. Hills, who's also made a good start actually on the softs. He's up 2 places into 7th, so hopefully he's going to find his balance now with the heavy fuel load. Will be on his way, but yeah, not any rain just yet. We're going to keep an eye on that one massively, but you know, Nels is over a second ahead, and already Flatty coming through with the DRS. Sorry, without the DRS, I should say. So a bit lower downforce setup. This is going to be interesting to see. Oh, Bobo, 10-second penalty. Interesting. But this is going to be, like I said, one of those that it's going to be interesting to see who has taken the risk if it is going to rain. And see what if it's. Oh, that was a bit close between Flatty, Nels. Nels had to go wide, and Flatty goes back through to turn 4.
Yeah, that just adds to Nels' poor start. Despite starting on soft tyres, he's dropped from 2nd down to P5 within the first 2 laps. And I think Moritz will be very happy with the way this race has started, because he's increasing that gap slightly. He's not broken DRS, but... And
I see rain. Sorry to interrupt. I see spots of rain starting.
It has begun. Indeed, the heavens have opened. Yeah. And
how heavy is it going to be, though? It's not that dark. But yeah, how heavy is it going to be, and will it get heavier is the question.
Yeah, we will soon find out, I guess. And wow, DRS is powerful, because Maka's only 4 tenths away now. But that toy is not going to be around for much longer, as it's raining. The DRS will get disabled sometime soon, and yeah, I bet Moritz is trying to use all of his battery to pull away from Maka. But at this stage, you know, the softs, okay, they're starting to die off, but their activation temperature is much lower than the medium tyres, so they'll be going on for much longer than the mediums can around in these conditions.
Yeah, Martin, a little bit wide. That might have been a warning. He's battling with Alex, who started on the hard tyres. So this battling with Nels Flatty and everybody behind. Just keeping dragging them further away. But I wonder if Alex has picked the wrong strategy completely. Maybe didn't just think about changing the tyres.
That could be, yeah.
It's just stuck with a standard potentially. But yeah, as you say, a single track poor middle sector, he's going to be under massive pressure from Alex and Dumas Hornet there behind Loppy and Connor as well. But it's going to be interesting to see who decides. Who's going to be the first to blink as well is going to be an interesting one, as Alex going on the outside makes that move.
And KG as well around the outside, but has a bit of a twitch on the exit of turn 2, which promotes Macca back in front of him. Macca had the RS, so he's pretty safe for now on the soft tyres as well. It's beginning to look a bit slippery out there.
Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing, funny enough, about that, and seeing you know, who's going to be struggling a little bit with that. Not many track limit warnings so far. I'm lucky I can see that. But yeah, there's only 3 different people who've had one, so they're managing it quite well in these conditions while they're all battling. But it's now going to be, as you said, about these soft tyres, how long they will last and not really give up the ghost too much. And how much heat you can keep in the mediums, especially, I think. Because, oh, Nels down the hill of turn 11 has lost the rear. Managed to keep it away from any damage, but he's now dropped down to 9th, just where the rear's gone on him, as you said about it being slippery, and that was perfect, a prime example of that. I think Flatty had to take a little bit of avoiding action, that's dropped him further off the back, but single track's now pitted, so I'm going to keep my eye on that, and his tyres.
Whoa.
Excuse me, Loppy's already pitted and put on the inters, so I'm going to keep my eye on Loppy and see what he can do. Yeah, intermediates for single track, so I'll keep my eye on how he goes. Carl's actually fought his way back up to 8th. He had a full start down to 13th, back up there as well. So just minding his business on the back of this Dumas Hornet train. So going well so far.
And Moritz has now got a 3.5 second advantage. He's got a very nice cushion.
Flatty's gone top of the hill. Through turn 6 and 7, Flaherty lost the rear quite early on as well. So that Williams just snaking all over the place. He puts any power down. I think those soft tyres are now done. We can just see what Macca can do as well. He's the only other driver left on the soft tyres. So
I think this is telling that Ferradura is now a bit too slippery for the slick tyres. Let's see how Martin is driving around this middle sector. He's not catching Chris currently, so this suggests that maybe the inters aren't yet quick enough, despite how slippery the track is.
Yeah, sorry, I was just agreeing with you, but you're right. It is very slippery. We can see it. I just think it's you know, you can now see the rain on track. You can see it on the surface, but the DRS has not been disabled yet. It is still active. And that is usually the telltale sign. I just wonder if it's the soft tyres that have just given up the ghost after 4 or 5 laps.
Could be,
probably about 3 to 4 really. Mac is still going though. He's still on the back of KG. Maybe the mediums with the heat that they can retain at this point are able to keep on going. Interestingly, Connor was in that battle with single track, and Connor's pitted and come out just ahead in turn 4. Martin sends you up the inside, a little bit of contact. I think Connor went a little bit wide as well. So desperate, I think single track had to make that move while he had the heat in the tyres, as Connor's just come out on those inters, trying to find where the grip is and what they can do. So interestingly that Connor pitted that lap later and came out ahead of single track, and you mentioned about it just sort of being, is it that crossover, is it not?
KG's pitting, Macca isn't.
10 seconds.
Oh!
Wow. But now the big train, Dumas Hornet, Alex and Bit have all pitted. It is now time, I think, for them. But the top 2 haven't, interestingly.
Oh, going sideways again there for Moritz. How does Macca fare in this corner? Doesn't go as much sideways, but it isn't much better. And yeah,
I think it's that crossover now. I really do. I think we're going to start seeing these intermediate tyres start coming to the fore now as they get the heat into them and start pushing on. But DRS still there. Single track now. He's got the heat into the tyres and has now jumped back ahead of Alex, who he was battling with beforehand. Runs a little bit wide through 4 though. That'll probably be a second warning for him. He's getting pushed. Oh, I think there might have been contact with Alex down the hill. Single track managed to, I mean, great save, great reactions. But Martin, as Connor's trying to have a look up the hill. Oh, that's close battling. Not sure if there was contact from the Ferrari that helped Martin at all, I'm not sure. But we'll see. Morita's in the pits though, mate.
Yeah. And Maka will surely follow him in as he does. The silver lining for KG will be that he pit at the right time. So his 10-second penalty, okay, it's a 10-second penalty, but he's still probably found 3-4 seconds. We'll see how far ahead he ends up. Oh, it's looking like a big one. He's caught up to Moritz, probably won't be ahead of him. He will be ahead. Or will he? Yeah, he will.
Yeah,
so he's basically gained, I'd say, 6 seconds from pitting at the right time. That's a great move from KG. We'll see how far back Maka is. It's 8 seconds currently.
But to be fair, Alex has got a big jump.
10
he
seconds.
must have pitted that perfect lap. And Maka on the soft tyres just, I don't know, just didn't have that in lap at all. And this has brought, single track on the back of him. He's been battling with Connor, I've noticed. I've been keeping sort of half an eye on that. With Loppy, Dumas Hornet, Nels behind as well. Obviously, Nels had that early spin. So, yeah, that's really, really cost Maka. Pitting that lap later has really hurt massively. But I think Alex and those people who just pit that lap before helped massively. As you say, look, KG, Maka. Big oversea and undersea under braking, but manages. Seems like wasn't close enough to do anything about it. So, yeah, that one for KG, that extra lap was the perfect lap, I think.
Yeah, Maka is now, about 11, nearly 12 seconds behind the leader, 12.3 seconds, and KG was behind. So, despite getting a 10-second penalty, he's basically repaid that through pitting at the right time. We were talking about 5 or 6 seconds over on. Nah. 10 seconds, 12 seconds. So single track then, looking more backwards than frontwards, rearwards than front. I don't know how to say that. Forwardsworth? Sorry, what? How?
Yeah, forwards and backwards.
Forwards, that's the word. Yeah, of course, bloody hell. It's not a hard one either. Come on, that's a terrible thing. So yeah, looking more backwards than forwards. Quite a few people getting caught in that. It's not a DRS train, but it's a dirty air train. The guys behind probably are quicker, but can't overtake, can't get close enough. And it's really hard in this middle section. There are a few overtaking opportunities, like the corner coming up, if you get a good exit here. And that's what Dumbstorn was looking at on the inside of Connor. But yeah, you really need a good exit.
Yeah, I think Dumas Hornet's looking quite strong at the moment. I think this is the problem. Like Connor was attacking single track, but as soon as you have to start defending, you lose so much time because you're trying to eye up the guy ahead, and someone, the guy behind is actually eyeing you up to have a go, and it can really unsettle you. And I think that's what's happened to Connor. Dumas Hornet is looking very racy, I think, at this point in time, and those behind, down to Flaherty as well on the comeback. They're all catching up as well. So. Everyone's battling, everyone's just getting nose to tail now, and it's just who can be neat, who can be tidy, who can be smooth as well in these slippery conditions and take advantage, because the DRS has now been disabled. No one was using it there at all. As Flaherty gets through on Bit, Bit's gone wide. I don't know if that was Flaherty on the inside. Bit had to go off track and fought. But yeah, this is now definitely a wet race.
Yep.
But Maka seems to be Maka's struggling for pace. Single track's still there on the back of him, and they pulled away from Connor a little bit.
Yep. Looks like Martin's finally found the feeling for this new setup that he's found. Up into P5, starting what was it, P10, 9? I can't remember. So it's finally working for him. Actually, let's have a look at the position changes. Where is it? There it is. So no, he started P9. He's gained 4 places. He's one of the biggest winners. You got Laupi as well, up 5 places in P9. And the real loser though is Nels, who started on the front row, P2 start, and yeah, a nightmarish first 2 laps for him. But yeah, Martin is doing really well, getting a bit closer each lap to Maka and trying to take advantage of a driver who's clearly not adapted to the conditions.
Yeah, this comes down to that, as you said, finding that setup now, and if Martin has got that balance that he was looking for, and then on top of that, there is no DRS. That's making it harder to overtake. Of course, it's now down to confidence. It's down to the overall grip that you feel. It's down to your inputs as well as the driver of the throttle inputs. Of course, no traction control out in Tier 2. So this is all about the balance, about how, as I mentioned, about being smooth and keeping that pace. And Martin is struggling a little bit. He's got 3-lap older tyres than Maka. Connor has closed in by about a second in the last lap or so. So Connor's now got his head back down again, but everyone's just sort of shaking, wiggling a little bit as they're trying to put the power down. So it's all about this holding on act at the moment, isn't it? About who can keep the tyres alive. I think there's going to be another round of pit stops without doubt at some point in this race.
Yeah, I'm thinking that because it's still very early in the race. And I'm wondering, is the rain getting a bit lighter now, or is it just me?
I think it's a bit heavier, personally.
Okay.
But not much. I think there's a little bit more spray off the back of the cars, unless it's just because it's been so constant. So that could be why. But I think there's... I think it's okay at the minute. I do think it has... Yeah, I think it's very constant at this one. I'm on board just with Alex, looking at the conditions more than anything. And I think this is just one of those, you're expecting it, waiting for it to potentially get heavier. You're either waiting for it to as you say, get a bit lighter, and you're just in that balancing of trying to manage the tyres as long as possible and managing your speed, trying not to lose too much time as well. So this is a patience one now, I think, for the drivers in this stage of the race. The mid stint, some have pitted earlier than others, of course, but you are middle of the stint now on these set of intermediates, waiting to see if the weather conditions do change at all. So yeah, this is just a tricky one. It is just, you've got to keep your focus now, and you've got to keep your awareness about you, and you can't sort of doze off, if you like, at any point. You can't let that awareness, that your mind wander at all because of the car. I mean, I'm not looking at Alex, and that car's just, the front is just not gripping whatsoever. The understeer he's got is just it's incredible, to be fair. It's amazing how much it has. It does look like a boat at this moment in time, and he seems to be struggling, but you're getting the car turned. It's okay on the rear. Oh, it's gone wide. I moved to up the hill. You Dumas Hornet for company. And Dumas Hornet went, thank you very much. Probably surprised him a little bit, to be fair, with that one. But
the fastest Hornet is now in free air, so we'll see how much pace he's got, because he's already found a bit of time on Connor. Can he close the gap to Martin?
Yeah, I think he has been looking good, has Chris. I'm looking at the back now of this train. We've got Loppy. Bit Flatty's gone through on Loppy as well, and he's going to be looking at challenging Nels next. So this is now another couple of little battles, and I think this is, again, people want to attack, but they're also just conscious of that grip level, of how much they can push, when can they brake, how much can they accelerate and push the tyres and push the car. So yeah, like I said, this is one of those times where people are just holding on, I think, more than anything at this moment in time, and wait to see what will transpire in, I think, the next 5-6 laps maybe? Could be.
This group of cars is the closest we've got on track. Everybody else is kind of has about like 1 or 2 seconds gaps. These guys are front to rear, and it's getting really close in this middle sector. And Connor's really struggling here with the rear end. He went deep and then struggled with the acceleration. Nelson, then Flatty follows suit on the exit of Pinheiro. I think, it's coming to the stage where it's not just a bit damp and everything, it's beginning to really slide for the intermediate tyres. And I think we're starting to get like reflections from the track now. So the track
it's not
definitely...
the usual, it's not the usual intermediate weather, is it, where you get the dry line appearing. There's not where you usually get that line when it's intermediate. It's only full intermediate conditions, but no such at this moment in time. So it tells me that it is a little bit heavier, and that's why the driver's potentially struggling so much and really getting quite... Oh, Nels Flaherty, look at the back of Nels, but maybe he's having a little look into turn 4. He's alongside, thinks better of it, backs out, but yeah, this is why I think drivers getting a little bit snaky on throttle. That's going to be close. Wow.
Oh, a bit of a moment there for Nels, and that causes a 3-second penalty for him.
Yeah, I think Flaherty had a look on the exit of turn 4, wasn't then close enough and had backed out at that point, and I don't know if there was contact, I couldn't see. So Collins actually, evening Chaos Druid, and Collins actually said, do we reckon it could be full wet soon?
I don't think it's raining hard enough.
Yeah.
And even when it rains hard enough, it's not a guarantee that it goes to full wets. So as it stands, I'd say no. Hey, the weather's the weather, it can change. So we'll see.
Yeah, we're not even halfway through. I agree with you there. I think probably when we get to the round of pit stops, I think the most advantageous part will be what's happened further down. Is that Smith? It is.
Gone through
Smith. Lost a front wing as well. That's unlucky for Smith. Sambal's missing quite a lot of wing as well. So Smith's got 10 seconds for not getting back on track. Maybe I think he may have had a collision with Sambal. I'm not sure what's going on there. We'll leave that one alone. But I think the best thing would be a fresh set of intermediates at this point.
Well, how old are the tyres now? They are
Smith's retired on track. That's a virtual.
It's a virtual. So this would be a great time for KG to serve his penalty. His tyres are probably only 9 lap old.
9, yep.
So they'll be 10 lap old at the end of this lap. Does he take the opportunity? He doesn't. What about Moritz? Moritz does. He chooses to pit. I think that's a pretty good move.
I do, because there's quite a big gap to Alex. I think KG should have taken his medicine there. As you said, he would have lost to Moritz, granted. If Moritz had pitted, he would still come out 6-7 seconds behind. But fresher tyres, Alex has also pitted, so the worst KG is going to be is second, and now we'll go to full racing speed. And Moritz, I think, is going to be the biggest beneficiary. It is now green as well. But Moritz only just leaving the pit. He won't have lost a lot of time to that. He will have lost a little bit, of course. Just extra, I should say, on top of the pit stop. But yeah, now we're at full racing speed. It's going to be an interesting one to see that gap. Just under 21 seconds. Now it's going to be see what Moritz can do once he gets the heat into those fresh inters.
Yep, so the gap 21 seconds, we'll soon see how quickly, if that gap goes down. If it doesn't, it's all good for KG because he'll have a 10-second gap to the cars behind, but the yards are that... Ooh, what's happened?
So, it was Carl. Chris had just got past on Carl. That looked like they were sort of orchestrating that one a little bit. Notorious saw his chance, went through, then Alex went through, but Notorious went through. I think Carl then was just got the tail happy. Nothing he could do. You know what Carl's like. And then tapped Notorious as well. Nearly sent them both spinning, but both survived it, so it's very close. Could have been worse.
So what about Alex, though? We've got a direct comparison between fresh intermediates and 9 lap old intermediates from Notorious in the Kick Sauber. Can Alex get them moved on very quickly? Because these guys are tier 1, but if their tyres don't give them tier 1 pace, he's going to be held up. So Alex will need to clear these guys pretty quickly. Moritz isn't exactly catching up to KG. KG was extending that gap before the pit stop, and it's kind of stabilised.
Yeah, it has at the moment. But we saw those Inters take a good lap or 2 laps to really warm up. Those that had that undercut of a lap really gained from it. So I'll expect to see maybe in the next lap or so that the heat comes to Morita's tyres and then see what he can do. But, you know, KG with that 10-second penalty, that's... I'm going to see how that works later on.
Yeah, because if he manages to keep this gap until, say, lap... Whoa, we've got 2 cars off track.
Yeah,
got Nels and Laupi off track. What happened there?
Yeah, big hits by the looks of it.
So say we get to lap 25.
There's a front end missing for Loppy, so I'm not sure what it was. Maybe they got sort of wheels tangled. Sorry to interrupt.
Maybe, yeah.
Wheels tangled through that, possibly, but yeah, not sure exactly what happened there. But, you know, Nell's a big player in the championship as well. Difficult one.
I can't remember where he is in the championship. I don't think he's at the top of it. Nels, where is he? P8 currently, 46 points. So where is it? 68 points behind the championship leader Maka, who's currently not having a great race. He has pit again, but he was a P4, I think. So subpar for him. And Moritz has brought the gap down to 20 seconds. So as I was saying just before, if that gap stays about the same until lap 25, maybe KG can pit and not end up too far behind Moritz. But now, yeah, that gap is going down pretty quickly.
Yeah, it will do for now. He's now going to have that grip. He's going to have the confidence in them now. It does look like that rain's easing slightly from what I can see. So maybe he's just trying to take them that little bit longer. Maybe those who didn't pit have decided, okay, if it is going to get lighter, if it's going to go back to dry, are they just going to try and eke the tyres out that little bit longer and then potentially towards the end of the race?
And now we're looking at Alex, who has managed to clear Notorious. How quickly can he get rid of that very annoying McLaren driver just ahead of him? I think he's going to stay behind for another lap at least, because he's coming up closer towards turn 1 with the slipstream. Can he get closer through the S's? Has a bit of a slide on turn 1. The exit isn't too bad. He's got more speed currently, but yeah, Chris is using a lot of energy right now and will live to fight another day. Thomas Hornet though has called right up to single track, and this is a fight for the podium because Alex is 3.5 seconds back from these guys. So yeah, finally things are looking like they're going a little bit better for Thomas Hornet after quite a few unlucky races.
Yeah, it does, and yeah, it does seem to be very consistent, I say, in races, and he's showing that again this evening. Just being patient. Single track, you know, he said he was struggling in qualifying and a change setup, but having a very good race as well. He was having a good race in Japan and decided he was going to try the soft tyres, and then I think he promptly spun out the pits when he tried them, and it went badly for him. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. Come on, folks, do hit the like button as well. There's only 6 of you doing so
Thomas Hornet pitting.
Please do, yes, sure. Interesting, maybe trying an undercut, knowing that the tyres, well, look at Morita, he's caught 3 seconds now in the last 4 laps, so they're starting to work those fresher tyres.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be interesting to see where Donatella comes out. I think he's going to come out behind Connor, or well, maybe around Connor, potentially. If he can get out ahead of the Aston Martin, that'll help him massively. And come out behind, it'll be Bobo and Maka, Bobo and Armour, sorry. So it's going to be close, I think, with the Aston Martin. Depends on his exit out the pits, slipping and sliding. No heat, yes, but he is out ahead of Connor, so I think that's going to be quite crucial.
Yeah.
For Connor, because he pitted 2 laps ago, so it depends on the heat that Thomas Hornet can get in his tyres, and then start closing the gap ahead to Flatty. And those that are beyond there, so yeah, it's going to be interesting. KG has now pitted.
Okay.
So a later pit.
I'm surprised by that, that he's not tried to wait until a slower car comes out of the pits or something to pit, because yeah, that 10-second penalty is very expensive, and Moritz had a much cheaper pit stop than him, so he's going to be miles behind right now.
He is.
That's why I was talking about lap
absolutely.
25 or something, just giving yourself that amount of laps to wait for something to happen. And
yeah, now single track pits, maybe an answer to Dumbest Hornet as well.
Oh.
So now we're seeing this next flurry of people pitting. Alex still stuck behind Chris. That's this. Hopefully, it's not going to hamper Alex. Obviously, we'll see how that plays out for him. But he's now ahead of Maka. Armour's there.
And it looks like Martin's still ahead of Dumbest Hornet.
Oh,
he has a poor exit out of the pits though, and he must have hit a wall or something, Martin, there, because he was well ahead and slowed down.
Yeah,
so Dumbest Hornet's
needed the same thing. Yeah, he has. Yeah. So, and I thought Dumbest Hornet did the same thing. Very, very slippery through the pits. Just there's no grip through there. Of course, cold the tyres. I mean, they come out the blanket. But what you've seen as well.
Well, Alex had nearly. He had more than a half spin there on the exit of turn 9, and he's just behind Chris right now, still behind Chris, should I say. And he got closer, had a good mid-corner, but carried a bit too much speed, went wide, and Chris has gone wide a bit there as well, going onto the wetter part of the track. And he's got still notorious for company. Chris has pit right now, indicating that, yeah, these tyres are kind of gone. KG's already taken a second out of Moritz. So we were talking about the tyres needing a few laps to kind of get going and everything. Straight away, he's out of the pits, catching up to Moritz. Can he catch up in 14 laps?
Yeah, that's going to be interesting, isn't it? And I'm just looking at that gap as well. Yeah, it just keeps coming down and down. So, yeah, this is going to be an interesting one. We've seen this with KG before. In fairness, he's planning his strategies very well. He's planning his setups very well. And he does have a lot of pace at this point, and especially the second part of races, he does seem to just have that extra little edge. So this could be quite spicy towards the end if he can keep taking a second a lap out or thereabouts. Yeah, it's going to be very, very exciting indeed, I think, because Moritz, 5 laps difference in tyre wear.
Yep.
That's going to really play into the hands of KG towards the end of this race, I think. And Notorious got through on Alex, so Alex is going to have another T1 driver to try to get through as well, but that's just going to hamper his progress quite a bit at this moment in time.
Yeah, as you said, KG's got a 5 lap tyre advantage, so that's anywhere between 10 and 20% tyre advantage that he's got, and that is until the end of the race. So it's not over. He's already taken a second out on this last lap, I think, because it's down to 10.4.
About that.
So a second a lap is more than enough to catch him, and then you'll have to pass him. So that's another matter. But and Moritz is a pretty hard racer as well, so he's going to have to find some mega pace. And 9.9 seconds, so still finding a lot of pace in that middle sector. Gets a good exit there as well. Manages to find about 0.2 of a second. Has a bit of a slide onto the right-hander.
This traffic's off-putting more than anything. I know the car's ghost, but you're still going to be affected by it.
Yeah, you're looking at it. Yeah,
He's already cleared it, so he's got the Red Bull. I think that'll be Loppy as well now to go through. So yeah, that's just going to hurt KG just a little bit more than he really wants and needs. Just wants that clear run, but I think once he gets through on Loppy, he's got that clear track again ahead of him.
So what about Dumbest Hornet? He's not catching Flaherty that much. I think the gap was about, again, 2.7 seconds to Bobo, and then Bobo a second and a half. He's not catching Flaherty despite his tyre advantage. We'll see. We've got a pit that is Notorious, so it doesn't really matter. Which promotes Alex up into P3. The closest challenger will be Maka, but he's 6 seconds behind or something. 6 seconds.
Yeah, dead on 6 now. Yeah, he was. That's another gap that's sort of ebbing and flowing as well. He's got Armour, who is also a reserve as well for company. But Armour, he won't do anything until he won't try and challenge Maka at this point. So it's going to be interesting just to see if Maka has any underlying pace, or if he's gone too much of a dry setup and tried it for qualifying. But then, Dumbest Hornet, I say he's 4.7 now off Flaherty, and see what he can do, because Bobo's also pitted. out of his way. So clear track ahead, single track dropped about to over 2 seconds. He's pulled it back, but he's got Notorious as well for company on fresh in to see what Notorious, if Notorious just sort of, doesn't really challenge the tier 2 man. And but I think that's the thing that did probably help single track a little bit with Notorious behind him, is because Connor was very close once again with single track. So that's hampered the Aston Martin of Connor and pushed him a little bit further back off from the back of single track. So
yeah, but I wouldn't want to have a reserve driver that close up to me. Like I want to be able to drive the way I want to drive, not having to worry about defending someone when I'm clearly trying to catch up to Thomas Hornet, who's been having a good race. So you need to be focused on your target, not on who's targeting you. So yeah, gets overtaken by Notorious.
Yeah, into turn 1, and that's very close indeed. So but the thing is now, if that was a bit cleaner, they didn't really lost about a tenth or so. Well, single track lost obviously a bit more by being overtaken. If he then can keep close to Notorious, then Notorious is really going to try the same on Dumbest Hornet, and then that could be the opportunity for single track to pounce and to close up. But he's still got Connor only 1.5 seconds further back. So I think there's still a few unwritten stories to be written to come out here. A bit like we saw yesterday in Texas, where we thought, I said, okay, that's it, it's done now, and then the last few laps there really wasn't all done. So I think we've got the same thing here this evening.
Yep. One of those stories though is KG and his ability to catch up to Moritz. It has slowed down the pace at which he's been catching up to Moritz. It's only been about half a second these last few laps. So half a second, don't get me wrong, it's a lot to take out in one lap, but it's not enough to catch up with, 9.5 laps remaining. Who else do we have in the fight? We've got Omar, who's pretty close, and Notorious has gone past. I don't know what happened.
Dumbest Hornet, and that has helped single track 0.6 of a second now
off
the back of Dumbest Hornet. So it did help a little bit, and probably not as much as Martin would have liked, but it still helped him a little bit now. So this is going to be interesting to see what single track's got, and this battle reignited.
We don't have that many time penalties either. We've got Notorious, but he's a reserve. Sambal's a reserve. We've got Vance, Laupi, and Nels on 3 seconds, and this is a pretty tough track on track limits. Just this corner, you can run wide and invalidate very easily, as Martin did in qualifying. And Nels is Rassam. Oh no, it's a reserve, so it doesn't really matter. How close can single track get on this final corner to launch himself up the hill? He's not quick enough on the exit. On our pits, the gaps are massive at the front, and Cage's lost out a bit of time as well to Moritz. So the wind has changed direction.
Yeah, it has, hasn't it? It's yes, the tyres have seemingly plateaued a little bit, so that edge that we saw took 4 or 5 seconds from the leader from KG just seems to have nullified a little bit at this point. But I think we've got some of the lower drivers reserving as well. That's great to see, and obviously that it does matter for them a bit as well, to see what they can do with the tier 2 boys and drivers above them. I sort of understand it for the tier 1 guys in tier 2, and they're doing their part, of course. Give us as many full grids as we can. So, but I think it's very competitive. I know, as you said, there are quite a few gaps that are formed. The 21 seconds between second and third. That's pretty much unheard of usually. So yeah, it's very surprising how that's played out, and I think that's generally down to a little bit of traffic. I think it's also down to those drivers who were in that fight. Nels was in Flaherty earlier, Maka himself. And they've had a few excursions, shall we say, and that's dropped them down the order, but the gaps have still been there, if that makes sense. The drivers that had almost filled those gaps have had the issues, unfortunately, this evening. So that's partly created it, and of course, that the strategies of when people have hit that, they've taken that second pit stop, and we saw sometimes the undercut was working really, really well when it did start raining, and there was that peak lap on lap 7 was the perfect time to pit. We saw a massive amount of time gained and lost if you pitted on lap 6, and then also if you pitted on lap 8, it could really cost a few drivers quite dramatically, and a lot of them haven't been able to really pull that back as well.
So which fights do we have on track? I think the closest car is Bit to Chris.
Yeah, he's battling with armour as well, so that's going to be good fun for Carl at this point, I think.
No stress.
Battling with the 2 Tier 1 boys. Yeah, no stress at all. Yeah, I'm sure he loves that. But yeah, that'll potentially help with confidence massively. I think that'll help him understand a few new parts and improve himself. So yeah, and he's holding his own. He's having another really strong race. In these tricky conditions, he hasn't done the no pitting strategy as he tried last week.
So disappointed.
I know, terrible. But no, he's still having a great race. He's still doing extremely well. So yeah, kudos to him. And as I mentioned, a man who had struggled in qualifying, a single track, and he's there in 8th, and surely that'll be promotion a little bit with Notorious having to pit late on as well. But just see what he can do with Dumbasonic. That's a battle it's not over. I don't think that one.
Sambal has retired in pits. Okay. So that doesn't bring a safety car out.
Well, imagine if we get one now.
Oh no, I don't. Nah. No, thank you.
I don't fancy that, no.
We've had a whole race without safety cars. We've had a virtual safety car. There's a 5 second. In 5 seconds. I missed that. It's gone down from 8 to 5 seconds. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, Prix must have had a big mistake somewhere in the early part of the lap, because that was just hovering, wasn't it? I saw that and sort of dismissed it. So it was 6-ish, and sort of left it. But this is, the lap 14, lap 15 was where we were seeing drivers pit on their from their stints. So has he gone that little bit early? And now is he just struggling towards the end of this race? Has this thrown something else into it? That KG keeping out that 5 lap longer, taking the pain. But Maurice, of course, did it under the virtual, didn't lose as much time. KG taking the pain of a full racing speed plus 10-second penalty. But 5 laps later, is that now just helping him come back into it right at the closing stages? And looking at the lap times, you'd probably say it is. Yeah,
he's taken the better part of a second out of Moritz on this lap. So, yeah, doing what he needs currently. Does he get a good exit out of the? Oh yeah, a very good exit out of the S's there. And that launches him onto the back straight.
Doesn't he?
Sorry?
You just said he looks a lot more stable now, doesn't he? And that I mentioned earlier that the rain may have eased slightly because we do have that dry line that's formed now, and that wasn't there earlier. So yeah, it's just going to be interesting to see 4 laps to go. I think he could do it, and this is just nerve-wracking for Maurice at this point. But he needs to keep his cool. He's got the heavily worn intermediate tyres. They won't be feeling too good. He just needs to learn where that grip is. And KG, he's chasing. He's obviously got the bit between his teeth. He's pushing on, but he can't push too much because that'll endanger him from, as his tyres wear, from making the same another error as well. So it's that balance of pushing on and really trying to gain the position, and then obviously Maurice trying to not lose as much time as a battle further back.
Yeah, as it stands, KG could be taking the championship lead away from Maka, but Maka is a bit busy thinking of something else. He's got Maka to worry about behind, as Bit takes a 3-second time penalty, probably on the exit of turn 4. And Flaherty is looking very punchy right now. Slightly fresher tyres than Maka, who had a moment there as well. on that penultimate corner. And okay, Flatty's done an inverted. Is that Glock? He's gone through. I wouldn't want to be side by side in these conditions up the hill. Any touch.
That is very brave. Indeed, that's well, that was very brave. It's very scary. Indeed, well done to both of them. But yeah, this is exactly that. This is, you know, the difference in tyres, that the confidence they're going to have is, it's going to be crazy. I think now that's, you know, single track still as well stuck behind Dumas Hornet. They've dropped off the back Notorious, who is going to have to pit. But yeah, this is now getting to a point where, you know, I think Alex is safe, I think, for third.
Yeah.
But he's going to just be looking after whatever he can of these tyres, because yeah, he is going to be struggling. He is struggling massively already. I think Flaherty, Maka, you know, they are really going to be hurting.
The gap is down to 2.7 seconds with 3 laps left. We're going to be concentrating on that front two battle because, well, the gap is closing. But we do have this fight going on for P7, which probably will be for P6 as well.
Yeah, so there's a couple of battles. Obviously, the battle for the wind's getting there. Is it going to get there towards the end? But I mean, KG can now see Maritz there on the run. Drifts through. Wow, up the. I can't believe he just did that. Drifted up the hill through turn 6 and 7. That'll be a heart in your mouth moment for him. But you know, didn't lose too much time. He just wanted to take that extra bit out of his tyres. Once he used it, as Maritz just trying to get to the end. Only 2 seconds now. Is that gap? And I can see KG is pushing so hard. That car is struggling for grip in every corner, drifting it, and he's throwing it into the corners, having 4-wheel drifts on the entry to corners, and yeah, just close a couple of tenths again. I think we're going to have a last lap shootout. It
could be 1.6 seconds. He's going to start getting the benefit of a tow. So yeah, he basically needs to be about 6 tenths away at the end of this lap to be within a shout of fighting.
I think so, with the tyre difference, absolutely. I mean, he took roughly, I think it was about a second last lap. But this also is where the dirty air is going to come into play as well. So not just a tow in this part, but the dirty air in the next sector could then work against him. As let's have a look at what else is going on. Maka still with Flaherty. That's a fight for 4th. Dumas Hornet single track as well. They're still continuing on their way. So, but about a second.
Yeah.
The top 2.
Any mistake right now from any of these 2 guys, and that is the race sealed for the other driver. And that gap is about to dive just under the 1 second mark. As he gets a good exit there as well, KG. But it's how much time he can get on this final corner. This is where the real time is. Has a beautiful slide there, but wow.
Oh, we're playing Colin McRae rally this evening, aren't we? Jeez.
So that gap is 8 tenths of a second, and that's more or less what he needed.
Wow.
And
this is their last lap
yeah.
shootout. Where have we seen this in Brazil before? But it's working. This sort of the technique that KG's got in these conditions is working for him.
I have no idea how he's doing it.
No, neither do I. I have no clue. It just looks. I mean, he must play some rally games, but it's just working. He's all off the back of Maritz now. Oh, this is so close. But Maritz just, you can see he's got no grip.
Yeah.
Maritz, is he going to try the top of the hill? He's not quite close enough, not brave, but Maritz is trying the same thing. The rear is not gripping at all for the leader. Oh, this is going to be so close. Couple of corners left.
As he gets to the inside, he doesn't.
Look, but Maritz, look at them both. Oh, has he got the exit? Oh!
He's working the steering wheel so hard.
I think he's going to try it. Is he going to try and send another base? He's not. He's going to try it on the exit. Has he got enough battery left? He's trying to save it.
He's been getting really good exits all race long, KG, and this is the exit he needed to get spot on. Does he get the race win? It's going to be close.
It is going to be close. It's a drag race. DRS. Sorry, ERS. And
Moritz keeps it, but wow.
0.66. That's incredible. I mean, that's, I think, our third closest finish.
This has meant we've missed incredible. The overtake from Martin.
Yeah, sorry, Martin and Chris. Yeah, Martin got through on Thomas Hornet early in the lap. So that will be 6th, which is a great result for both of these guys. Really great result for them. It was Notorious slowing down. Last time 10 seconds had an issue somewhere. I think he's just let a few people through. But Flatty keeps ahead of Maka. I've got ahead of Maka, sorry.
Very close there between Chris and Martin.
Yeah, Flatty got ahead of Maka, makes that 4th and 5th. It's a single track. This is another one towards the line. I think it's going to be Martin keeps it, and he does. Good result. Great result for him and Chris. Connor, another fantastic result in his return. Ahead of Bit.
So that's
wow.
A second Moritz and KG top 2 finish in a row. That was the result last time around in Japan. And yeah, that will be the championship lead before stewarding happens for KG. He got that penalty. He'll be beating himself for that because 10 seconds it stings, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So
it's horrible, and to be finished that close, to be within, that distance.
Yeah,
that is
It's so not even tough. A lap. It's probably 200 meters he needed. Very impressive drive from the lobby host tonight. Moritz with race winner, fastest lap as well, driver of the day Notorious, most overtakes, and cleanest driver Omar. And the full results then with Moritz, KG, and Alex. Really good result for Alex. He's been away for a bit and getting a podium in Tier 2. That's a pretty decent result. Then it's Flatty in P4, Maka the championship leader, single track after qualifying 9th, and had a bit of a stab in the dark with the setup. Rewarded for a good drive. Thomas Hornet as well, very consistent. Connor, Bit, Notorious, Chris, Armar, Rassam, Bobo, Nels, Laupi, Vance, Andrew, CBG Sunbal, and Smith, who had to retire. I can't remember what happened, but yeah.
Wow.
Driver of the day for you? I've got my vote, but
performances. Yeah, a lot of great performance. I think KG was very strong, and having that 10-second penalty to come back to be that close was fantastic. Maurice holding on to his sides just. Single track as well, and Chris, some fantastic races from them. Bit from 13th to 9th. There's a lot of standout drivers in there, I think, this evening, and Connor as well. I think you've got to give to props to pretty much. I can't honestly pick a standout really from that, to be personally honest.
Yeah, I'd like to quickly congratulate a non-safety car race. That's a really good feat, people. Yeah. And in the rain, that could have been such a long race if we had safety cars happening. But good race from most drivers out there. Incredible drive from KG. Unlucky for speeding in the pits. And another win for Moritz, which will really take him up in the championship standings. He will be overtaken probably Airways. Colin might be a bit too far away for that, but it really brings Moritz back in the conversation with 2 wins on the trot. Anyways, thank you everybody for joining tonight's stream. It's 22 minutes past 8, and in just about half an hour, 20 minutes, you'll be getting the Tier 1 stream. So the Ferrari pair you've had tonight on comms will be on track. We'll definitely be hoping that we don't get these same conditions, because this looked horrible. And make sure you tune in. And thanks, Mark, for joining me tonight.
Pleasure, my friend, as always. Thank you very much.
And see you all next week. Ciao.
Ciao.